Hello,
Beautiful.
everybody. Ella J here for a wrestling gal, and today I am joined by the violence artist and your future PWA Heavyweight Champion, Charli Evans. How are you today?
Yes. I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic to be catching up with you, my friend. You have had a crazy last 6 months since the last time I talked to you. We'll obviously get into all of that PWA Chevs versus Troy. We'll also talk about your upcoming UK tour. But first things first, I want to talk about this amazing, almost ethereal ring gear that you debuted last year with the veil, almost reminiscent of a wedding. You've referenced that before, very different from what you usually wear. Is there a particular story or inspiration behind this particular ring gear and the veil and everything?
It kind of felt like Colosseum was like my big, moment. So I was like,
Yeah.
what bigger than, a wedding? Um, I spent more on that gear than I did on my actual wedding dress by like 900% basically.
Wow.
But yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I might even top it this Friday, if
Mm,
possible.
okay. I don't know. I feel like the only way to top that is to go the complete opposite route and go death, I guess, or funeral of Jessica Troy, perhaps.
Oh, she's smart. Okay.
Am I on maybe the right track? A little hint?
Yeah, I feel like maybe you get what I'm where I'm going.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask about that because it's very different from what you usually wear. You've actually worn it, I know, at Progress, I believe, against Cara Noir as well. You've worn it a couple of other places. Is that kind of a gear that you like reserve for like special matches now? I have to imagine.
Yeah, that's the big match gear.
Yeah. So, well, we'll see what happens. Obviously, we'll talk about PWA Chevs versus Troy, but you said that it is an inspiration kind of from weddings. So I have to ask, what is your favorite wrestling wedding of all time?
Ooh, I guess it wasn't like the one wrestling wedding that I've been involved in
Okay.
was Halsey and Cardona at GCW. So I feel like I have to say that because I was involved in it and that was like a bucket list. Okay, we've done a wrestling wedding.
That is true. I feel like you're kind of, I mean, you're already married, but I feel like you're kind of destined for your own at some point with you and Connor. We also need to get you back in GCW because it's been a hot minute, my friend, and we miss you over here.
Oh my God, I miss GCW, I miss America. I need to come back.
I know, but obviously, you are going to be in Australia, then the UK, maybe the US, maybe sometime later this year. We'll have to see. Um, can you give us just a little something of what we can expect from you gear wise at PWA Chefs versus Troy? Just even like a color scheme. I'm guessing black, but it could be something else.
Okay. There's black. There's black.
That's what I thought. So
We'll
it
go
is
there and then you can wait to see the
okay.
rest.
Okay, so we'll have to see the West. Maybe I guess it is symbolic of the funeral of Jessica Troy. Jessica, I'm sorry, but I guess Charlie's not sorry, so it doesn't really matter anyways. In general though, where do you look to for inspo for ring gears, like just in general?
I'm like big into fashion anyway, so like any
Yeah.
like way like couture sort of stuff. Like I find inspiration from like movies and music, and I'm big into like old cathedrals and stuff like that too. So I take a lot of like inspiration from like I don't know, like Catholic themes and like yeah, I just think it's all very, very pretty.
I can tell. I mean, obviously the veil, like you have this like headpiece as well, and also in your t-shirt designs, there's like very like mosaic cathedral, like I don't know how to explain it, but like I can definitely see that in your t-shirt designs too as well. I'm curious with like movies specifically, like what specific movies have you taken inspiration from and then applied it into your look?
Anything that's kind of like I don't know, I like it doesn't really like look like it, but like old um I say old, it's not like 2000s sort of movies, and then I'll like see what they were wearing at that time, and then I'll like deep dive into like people and be like, oh, I like this and this and this. Like, not the 2000s movies are old, they're like goated.
At this time, I think, isn't it they consider classics anything that's like 18 years plus? Is that that's a thing I've heard? Which
Shit.
by then, like a lot of the 2000s movies would be classics by this point, which is crazy. Uh, right?
Shit. Camp Rock's about to become a classic. All right, I'll
I
take it.
know. I know. That's just what I've heard. I don't know if it's actually true. Um,
Yes.
but s- but style wise, I also wanted to point out a recent look that you had at a little show called AEW Grand Slam. You are rocking the leather all around in your combat boots. Loved that. Tell me about your experience at Grand Slam. I saw you and Lena were invited there.
Yeah, it was so awesome. It was such a good day. And obviously I know a lot of people that work there, so just getting to like catch up with a lot of people that I haven't seen in years, meet new people, like pick people's brains and just like make connections. It was such a good day.
Yeah,
Such a
there
good day.
were obviously a lot of Aussie talents on the card. Kyle Fletcher is probably one of the people you were referring to. Buddy Matthews, Harley Cameron, Tony Storm. Overall, what would you say was your favorite match or moment of the event?
Um, Honestly, okay, so Robbie's match, I had goosebumps the whole time. I was tearing up. Um, just seeing him on like a stage like that and having the whole crowd like chanting for him was such a like a cool moment because like he has been so pivotal in like my career and taking time out of his life to help me and teach me, and then seeing him get that, it was amazing. Tony and Mariah was obviously awesome, and yeah, Kyle's match with Will, like the tag,
Insane.
unreal. Unreal. The whole show, like getting to see Tommy Knight on the show as well, wrestling Davis, like it was just such a cool like moment for everyone.
Yeah, you mentioned obviously Robbie Eagles challenged Lee Moriarty at Global Wars for Ring of Honor. I know I had talked to him in December and he was kind of wanting that to be back in ROH and AEW and it made it happen. Obviously we hope to get you and Lena Cross on the platform sometime, whether it's AEW, Ring of Honor. Hello, give them a call back. They need to return to Australia right now. I'm just
Yes.
saying.
I know that's the goal, so hopefully one day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you're a big supporter of Aussie wrestling. That was one of the things you said in your post about it. So let's talk about some of your other peers in the Aussie wrestling scene, not named Jessica Troy, of course, with the first being Lena Cross. She obviously attended Grand Slam with you. I feel like much like you too, she's kind of on this world tour kind of everywhere now, bouncing from Japan, the UK, Australia, the US. Thoughts on Lena's journey and her work in general these last few years?
Oh, she's fucking unreal. She looks like a star. She's ready to get picked up like that. So it's just a matter of time, honestly.
I absolutely agree too. And I feel I don't want to say you like I feel like you okay, I will say it. I feel like you kind of you and Shez, I feel like paved the way kind of for Australian talent, kind of, branching outside of the Aussie bubble. I mean, you moved to the UK at 19 years old for like several years, and then you're seeing people like Lena branching out, and obviously somebody else who is on the cusp of branching out is my good friend Kingsley, kind of taking a page out of your playbook. I'm so happy she finally announced that she will be taking a leap and moving to Canada. So, do you have any advice for her or other Aussie talents who are maybe looking to make that move, take that leap into another country for the long haul?
I just think do it. Like, why not? Worst case, you get a flight home. Do you know what I mean? Like that is the worst thing that could happen. I think if you're young and you have, nothing tying you down here, why would you not just, first of all, travel the world to see the world? You like learn so much about yourself as a person and as a wrestler. You get to learn different styles, meet new people, wrestle new people, like brand yourself out of, the Australian bubble. So I cannot recommend traveling enough to anyone. And I'm excited for her. I think she's gonna fucking kill it.
In your personal experience, I'm curious between Japan, the UK, the US. Have you wrestled in Canada? I'm sure you
No,
have in
I
some.
want
No?
to so
What? What?
bad. I
Well,
know.
wow. Okay then. Well, we need to get you there next. But I was gonna ask in your travels across the world, has there been like a huge like wow moment, whether it's like a new style of wrestling, a new move, a new mannerism, anything that you recall like just being in total awe?
I think anything in Japan because you're just
Yeah.
like, like they just fucking they know what they're doing over there. Um, I think Japan's like the one place too that I've been like, wow, like this is like a completely different environment.
Hmm.
Just as like a country in general. I find a lot of similarities between the UK and Australia and even the US. But yeah, when I was in Japan, I was like, wow. And I feel like wrestling wise, that's kind of where it all clicked for me as well.
Hmm. I'm curious, what have you carried forward from Japan wrestling wise? Like what specific moment did it click for you?
I think like being in the dojo and actually training, like I was like, oh, okay, like from when they start, like their basics are just flawless, and it's because it's all they can do for like the longest time, and then they start to like develop these characters and personalities, but before then they're just this is what you do and you do it well. So their basics are so great, and I feel like, you know, PWA are very, very good at just like having great fundamentals. So that really helped me everywhere that I've gone because fundamentally I can wrestle very well. Um, and then yeah, just like putting matches together, especially when you're not speaking the same language,
Yeah.
you just have to make it work. I feel like that really helped my confidence levels as well because I was like, okay, like at the end of the day, you know what you're doing and you'll be able to do it. So just believe in yourself and you'll you'll be able to do it.
Yeah,
Um,
trusting in your own experience and obviously taking like I mean you might not verbally be able to, but those nonverbal cues. I
yeah,
always find that so fascinating and so amazing how people can put together matches without being able to like verbally communicate it, you know? And a lot of it is impromptu, especially if you've wrestled the person before. But in this case, I have to imagine a lot of them were like first time opponents or people that you're working with. So I always find that like so fascinating how you make it work.
yeah, it's so interesting. And it's just like, okay, like, you know, it is just like this universal language at the end of the day. And then just the way they wrestle and the style they wrestle and like the spirit that they have. And like, it is like so emotional. Like, it sounds weird, but like the matches are actually really emotionally taxing. Um, and I feel like that's kind of carried on since I first went there. And that's when it was all like, okay, I understand what I'm doing. Like, this is like, you know, what I want to be as a wrestler.
Now, I'm curious, as you're traveling and working different countries like America, the UK, Australia, Japan, do you have to like drastically like change your move set? Like because like you said, each place has like different styles that they normally conform to like widely. Have you found yourself like drastically changing your move set like from country to country to kind of
I
conform?
don't think I've I don't think I've really changed it, but I think it's like super cool because like in Australia, I feel like we have this really hybrid style anyway,
Yeah,
because everyone's had to go out, learn these different styles and then bring them back. Like Robbie is so heavily influenced by Japan and you know,
yeah.
Madison went over and trained with Ring of Honor and Takara and like brought back that style. So it's a big like mix of all these different styles together. So I feel like I have a little bit of each and I can kind of adapt to wherever and whatever is needed.
Yeah, I feel like that's good too, especially being that hybrid that makes you more versatile in wherever you go. And you have the kind of the moves in the back pocket if you need to pull them out like a crazy move or something. In Japan, where
Yeah.
they're strong style, or say
Yeah.
just theoretically you go to Mexico and a lot of high. We don't see you high flying a lot though, so, but I'm sure you have some moves in your back pocket just out of your. No, she's like no.
Got a little top rope runner in there.
Yeah,
I got a
yeah.
little top rope runner, that's about it.
We were obviously talking about some of your PWA Australian peers. Obviously, Kingsley is 1/3 of the PWA Tag Team Champions alongside Shay Cassidy and Everett Connors. You are a part of another trio in North Shore Wrestling alongside Will Kiedis and Sam Osborne. I know you're looking ahead at the PWA Heavyweight Championship right now, but have you three brought interest to the PWA Tag Team Championships?
Oh, we would look good dripped out in all gold. Way better than the backside girls, I think. So, never say never.
That's interesting that you say that. But we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. Tell me more about your friendships with Sam and Will Kiedis. Obviously, you've been working together for a few years now, but now you're working very closely together. How has your friendships been and the working dynamic between you three so far?
I think we had this bond pretty much straight away. We've obviously not seen eye to eye for a very long time. Um, I've wrestled both of them on many occasions,
Yeah.
feuded with them in the past. So I think like having uh mutual disdain for each other really brought us together. And now we're like all best friends and it's lovely.
What activities have you found yourself, obviously besides beating up the PWE locker room, but what are some activities that you enjoy doing together?
We like shopping.
Ooh, I'm a big
We're all
shopper.
We love shopping. We're all into fashion. We've been going to get cocktails a lot, which is fun. Just anything nice, anything relaxing, anything we want, really.
What is your go-to cocktail of choice? I'm very curious.
Ooh. I like a mojito.
Okay.
I've gotten way into margaritas lately, actually. I was never a margarita girl, but recently,
Yeah.
margaritas.
Margaritas are underrated. They're like not my top, but like they're a solid choice, honestly.
Yeah,
Depending,
yeah,
obviously, like what flavor and stuff. But I can warm
yeah,
up to margaritas. That's
yeah.
good. You have some new shopping pals. Like,
I do.
man, I'm
It's great.
curious, have either of them incorporated like okay, let me ask you this before we get into it. Do you have similar styles in real life or are they like drastically different? I'm so curious. Like what are your three individual styles like?
Honestly, pretty similar to what you see us wear. I would say
Okay.
I'm a bit more eccentric.
Yeah.
Like they're classy. Do you know what I mean? Like they have some nice neutral tones, classic looks. I'm a bit more out there. I'll shake it up a little bit more. So maybe we'll get them in some wacky things. I don't know. We'll see.
Push them out of their comfort zone. They got to get outside the box. You're the perfect person to do that.
Right?
You should because you have great fat. I feel like you have a great balance. Like you can be obviously like very like hard. You can also be very cool, even like how you're dressed right now with the hat, you're very cool, but you can also be very ethereal, like very just well-rounded, Charlie, I feel like.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like my style has like evolved a lot in the last few years, especially like with Connor, because he's like so into fashion.
Yeah.
So he kind of pushed me to like wear some more like things that I
Ah.
never would have worn. So I'll give him props.
Well, thank you, Connor. Even though you might be those tag titles, well,
I know.
in
Watch your
real
back.
life, in real life, Connor, though, we salute you.
Yes.
Now, looking ahead at PWA Chevs versus Troy, you will obviously challenge your former friend Jessica Troy for the PWA Heavyweight title in a last wrestler standing match. I believe this is your first experience. I mean, I could be wrong. I believe this is your first experience with this particular stipulation.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
obviously, you have the advantage as Jessica is trying to bounce back from a broken ankle. So, what can we expect from you in this match environment?
I think I am, yeah. I am walking with the upper hand. Like I know she's a champion. She says that she's not an underdog anymore, but she is. Like she's coming off a broken ankle. She's going into a match where it's just like you don't want to be down, and if there's anything I can do, it's bounce back from punishment. So I'm looking forward to it.
When you do become PWA heavyweight champion, what is your vision or goals for your title reign?
Well, first of all, I appreciate that you know that I'll be winning.
Yes.
And I'm going to, like, my main goal is always bring eyes to PWA. And I feel like I'm the person to do that. The first thing I'm going to do after this show is jump on a plane and go to England. And I'll be taking the title with me and I'll happily defend it over there and make it a world title. While Jess has been sitting at home doing fuck all for the whole reign, basically. So I'm automatically better at first day on the fucking job.
I do have to ask because you mentioned her ankle. She's obviously been out of action for a few months at this point. She was already kind of down after the attack at Coliseum. What was the motivation for breaking her ankle, kind of adding insult to injury?
Why not? I don't know if we're like, I'm not claiming that I broke it. I'm not claiming
I
that I broke it at all.
I just watched another video where you boldly said you broke it in front of a bunch of f***ing kids.
I mean,
So,
she broke it. If she can't walk right, that's on her.
mm, okay.
She can't do wrestling moves right, that's on her. But yeah, imagine that did happen in front of kids. Maybe we broke it, maybe we didn't. She'll never know.
So you are not
But
claiming responsibility for it anymore.
I'm not responsible for anything that happens to anyone. Whatever happens to you, that's on you. If your ankle can't handle what I do to it, drink some milk. You got weak bones. And I'm
Fair point.
vegan. Drink some milk.
Fair point. Um, I obviously you made your feelings about her very clear. Is there any part of you that feels this friendship could be amended? Like, what would it take for it to be somewhat fixed, if it's even fixable?
She could just lay down for 10 seconds at the start of the match
That's fair.
and then give me $1 million and grovel at my feet. And then
Now
maybe we'll talk about it.
$1 million is kind of crazy.
AUD, so it's like half a mil for you. That's kind of fine.
Okay. You think she has I mean, you know her. You think she has that kind of money?
No,
Well then,
she'll
I
have to
think
work hard.
I think that answers that question. Um, so it will not be mended. At least one third of it we can already scratch off.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this. The last time we talked, I asked you and Jessica about the story behind your matching tattoos. Where do we go from here? Like, are you gonna cover it up? Are you gonna change it? What is your plan for your matching tattoos?
You know what's so annoying? I don't have any tattoos that I regret until this. Literally. I look at it every fucking day and it actually pisses me off. So we might have to get that covered up, I think. We might
That's
have to get it
sad.
covered up.
That's sad because it's actually like so cute.
I know. Maybe I should like just put a nice cross through it or something.
No, I think you can
Like
still make it look good. Just have a good cover up somehow.
maybe I'll draw Sam Osborne and Will Keatis' face on the top of it or something. It'll be beautiful.
You think that would be a smart decision?
Yeah, that would look sick.
Didn't you say you used to hate each other? What's to say, like, things won't change again between you guys?
No way. We're like this now.
Okay.
Both of us, all three of us like this. All three.
You think they would get tattoos of your face on them?
Yeah, 100%.
Do they have
Maybe,
I actually don't know. Do they
maybe,
have tattoos?
yeah, Keatis does.
So
Maybe
Sam,
that'll
you're
be
saying
our little activity. We'll go shopping and then get tattoos.
poor Sam's first tattoo is gonna be of Chevs's face, is what you're telling me.
I feel like a lot of people would love to do that.
I mean, I'm sure there's some people out there that do have your face tattooed on their body,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. There's people with Chev's tattoos.
Of specifically your face.
I don't know my face, Someone has my signature.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they got it
That
at Coliseum right before night two.
it was a premonition, I have to say. I'm curious, personal feelings aside, from a professional standpoint, what are your thoughts on Jessica as a performer and as a champion? Because, she's paved the way. I mean, I feel like you can't really deny the fact she is PWA's first ever female heavyweight champion. She's accomplished a lot in the ring. I know you've talked about still kind of respecting her from that aspect. But what are your thoughts on her from a professional standpoint now?
I mean, yeah, you can't deny that she is the first female champion. That's a fact. So fair fucks to her. Um, the thing is with Jess, I do believe that she is the best technical wrestler in the country. So that's why it's pissed me off so much because I know how good she is
Mhm.
and I know what she's capable of. And I think the fact that she didn't win, she can say that she doesn't care how she wins in a roll up and a pinfall or whatever. But at the end of the day, like she prides herself on being like this submission wizard. And I don't think that she was satisfied after that. So do I respect her as a wrestler? Less so now than I did, but I still think she's obviously very good. Um, but that is only going to make me even better when I beat her.
And you, like we said, you are coming in with the advantage. From what I understand, both your ankles are fine, correct?
Great. They're beautiful. Fantastic. I'm healthy. I'm good. I'm fucking ready.
There you go. Obviously, like we said, PWA Chevs versus Troy is coming up on Friday, April 11th. Obviously, we have a whole card of other matches. We mentioned Robbie Eagles earlier will be defending the sole PWA championship against Jimmy Townsend. The Backslide Girls will be defending against the Regime. And also, from what I understand, this is probably Kingsley's last match in PWA for a while. So that'll be interesting to see how things shake out from there. But other than your own, what match are you particularly looking forward to on this card?
Mine. That's it. No, I
Okay.
guess Robbie's because fucking Jimmy yaps a lot, Jimmy
Ah,
talks a big game for this fucking little kid. And I feel like I'm always going to see him as a little kid. Robbie's always going to see him as a little kid. He walked into the PWA Academy at what, 16 years old, 17 years old. And so maybe, he has something to prove against Robbie because I feel like, we've known him for so long and maybe he'll always be like that annoying little brother. So I feel like he'll bring it to Robbie, but fuck, Robbie, when he's mad, one person I would not fuck with.
you think Jimmy's gonna make Robbie mad in the ring just by talking?
I think he's already made him mad by even calling him out for it.
That's true. That's true. I personally
So
have not seen an enraged Robbie, but I take your word for it.
even when he's not mad wrestling him, he kicks you so hard. I can't even imagine. I can't bleh, have fun.
Well, you and Robbie could both be champions walking out of PWA Chubs versus Troy. So we'll have to stay tuned for that. And obviously, you'll be looking at some tag team gold after you win your singles gold first. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, like you said, you will be heading into your UK tour with the PWA Heavyweight Championship around your way. So let's talk about this tour a little bit because my God, my friend, you already have, I want to say at least seven, eight, nine dates lined up. The weekend after, I know you have appearances at RevPro Attack and I believe New Wave and Bridge Pro Wrestling as well. So you're already stacked, but I specifically want to highlight Rev Pro because you will be competing in the women's gauntlet with like Serena Deeb, Danny Luna, Anita Vaughn. We've obviously got like so basically talents from everywhere. We got AEW in there, we got TNA, we got UK, we got Australia. Um, what are your thoughts heading into this women's revolution gauntlet? I feel like we're getting a lot of dream face-offs already.
I'm super fucking excited. First of all, that show is going to be amazing. I'm so happy for Kanji.
Yeah.
She deserves every opportunity that she's getting. I am wrestling her the night before an attack,
Yeah.
so I'll soften her up for you, Mercedes. It's fine. But no, I'm fucking elated for her. She is so good. I feel like she's like on the like she is underrated, but I feel like people are really starting to notice, oh my God, she's just so different and
Mhm.
so technically like it's just like magical watching her. She'll come up with stuff that I'm like, how the fuck did you actually think of that? Um, so I'm hyped for her. I'm hyped just to watch it, like and be there. That's a cool venue. The Doncaster Dome is really, really cool. I wrestled for Ring of Honor there. I wrestled Kaylee Ray. Um,
Wow.
years and years and years ago. So I'm excited to like be back there. Um, yeah, there's like so many possibilities going into this gauntlet too. I'm kind of hoping that I get to like get in there with Danny. Um, because I really, really think Medusa Complex versus Spitfire would be a match that I would really, really like to happen in the future.
My God, like two a very hard-hitting, edgy tag teams. I would have you like interacted with Danny in the ring before? I'm not quite sure.
I've had one singles match with Danny at
Okay.
RevPro years, like
Okay.
2019. And
Yeah.
I've never worked with Jody.
Mm. Jody Threat and Chevs
Yeah.
would like just alone would be so much fun. Um,
Yes.
Jode, I mean, we're gonna have three of you in the country at the same time. So now it's just kind of on Jody is what from what I'm gathering from
Oh,
this.
that's right, girl. I know. Yeah. So like that's a dream match for all four of us. So I do hope it happens one day.
Yeah, and obviously, the night before you obviously mentioned you will be facing Kanji at Attack, but at Rev Pro High Stakes, we have Mercedes Monet defending the Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's Championship, which feels like a fake sentence. Like it still does not. Like, what year is this? She obviously laid down the challenge to Kanji after Kanji defeated Deonna Purrazzo last month. And now Kanji, also like a former Progress Women's champion in her own right. Also, I believe now the Resurgence champion as well after your recent match with her as well. So Kanji has has a resume backing herself too. In general, I know you're not there consistently, but I have to imagine that Mercedes holding this championship like greatly uplifts it and kind of maybe motivates you and a lot of the other talent in and around the UK.
100%. Just even, getting to be around her is going to be so beneficial to all of us. She's a fucking star. She is a star. So just, being able to meet her and talk to her and, see what she does is going to help us all so greatly.
And for maybe for those who I'm obviously very familiar with your work, I've covered her, I've interviewed her. For those who maybe aren't as familiar with Kanji, what do you think they can expect from her when she challenges Mercedes?
She's full of fire. She has like this like no quit attitude. She's technically so, so incredible. Um, but her strikes as well. God damn.
I know.
God damn. Like she really has it all. She can fly, she can hit, she can do techers. Like she is just every every box she ticks.
I'm curious too. You've gone to the UK a lot. Have you and Millie had discussions? I mean, I don't know her visa situation, maybe that has something to do with. Have you and Millie ever discussed about taking Medusa Complex like to the US or back to Australia?
We really, really want to do a US tour. That's kind of what we're looking at now. So if there's anyone, hey. But yeah, we actually spoke about this a few days ago. A US tour is, and it has been on our on our bucket list for a long time. So that's definitely something that we really, really want to make happen.
I want to see it. I want to see you guys wrestle in person. My God.
Needs to
You,
happen.
I know you need to let me know. If it does happen, please hit me up because I will
I
be
will.
there, like in a
Yeah.
heartbeat. Yeah, Chevs, before we let you go, please let the listeners know where they can find you online and support you.
Yes, you can find me at Charli Evans Pro on Instagram and Twitter. You'll have to type the whole thing in because she's shadow banned. And then PWA Australia on Instagram, Twitter. Watch the show live. It's live and free on YouTube. Friday, April 11th. It starts 8 p.m. Sydney, Australia time. So
That is
good.
6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 a.m. Central, 3 a.m.
Good.
Pacific Time. So, I mean, or, honestly, they normally have a replay. That's normally how I
Yeah.
watch it on replay, but it is available on YouTube. I'm happy to hear that. Like
Yes.
Charli said, check out PWA Chevs versus Troy Friday, April 11th. We're going to have and new. I'm assuming you guys are main eventing, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we will be having and new in the main event. Kind of sorry, but not sorry, Jessica. Now, what you're gonna do with your tattoo, that's something else I would start thinking about.
I
Um,
know.
but in the meantime, focus on last wrestler standing and new. Charli
Yeah.
Evans, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you, Ella.